What a star-studded lineup today. Two people who, it's almost like, when you have two batsmen that are on 100 all the time, who's going to end the day on 300? That's with the two of them. Radhika and Vikrant, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us again. Yeah.
And when I say cricketers, I mean of the performance kind, yeah? So one person who chose not to let anybody perform anywhere, about 3 or 4 years ago was only you. You woke up in the morning, you saw Radhika. In the evening, you went to the theatre, you saw Radhika. The ads, you saw Radhika. And then Radhika suddenly said, let me give the others a chance. So that's what happened in a few years. He had given the others a chance for a while. And now he decided, let me come back to back. And then he took another little break. So this change of heart, parivartan from the both of you. First with you, so good to see you after so many years now almost.
Thank you.
So, which is right. There was a time where I think you were also getting sick of yourself because you had actually made an ad for a different platform where you see me morning to night. Well, it was a reality at that point. Was there a burnout in your head?
I think I was like working like a machine. I don't think I was thinking even. I remember that year I saw my partner for 11 days.
Yeah.
In the entire year. Yeah.
You were working for 354?
No, actually I was working when I saw him also. I literally hadn't taken a half day off.
Big money year.
I know, right? Those days. Those were the days.
Yeah. But otherwise, in your mind, you start to like sort of reassess the situation.
Yeah.
Am I overexposing myself? I was reading some of these trade pundits the other day that was saying that today an actor has to be very careful as to how much is being exposed because it's no longer just a film. This, of course, is a film which is coming on an OTT platform.
Yeah.
Everyone has access to you all the time plus social media.
Right.
So is it a dangerous thing also for actors?
I don't know because I didn't stop because of overexposure. To be honest with you, I have been always called underexposed, overexposed, that too much commercial work, too much indie work. So I was like, which one to do? Yeah, I've done everything. So I realized it means nothing. So it was just COVID happened, work stopped, and then we all got perspectives back, and priorities changed, and then now I've made a decision not to take so much work, and so I took 2 years off.
Well, great to see you. I mean, you look back with full excitement.
Am I? Good.
Not?
I am.
Yeah, so there you go. You also you've assessed it, right? I think you've played it well. You know how to have the right breaks in between. And it is a very serious audience burnout issue that can happen with a star. And you have become that now completely, which is fantastic because I know that you never set out to do that. And I think with the both of you, it's happened. But there's a select audience that likes to watch you completely and then you want to keep growing that base out.
Yeah.
But is it a tricky thing, how much, you don't have control over the release, so as to say. But is it tricky?
Yeah, you said it very rightly. I think it's also because of social media and, you're right there every single day. And though I am not very active on social media, but right now, my priority is to just, respect the opportunities that are coming my way. I'm very new in the world of cinema. I'm just like 7 years old. So, 8 years old now. So, I really don't calculate as much. The idea is to just go out there and, tell a good story. I think I'm the most comfortable in front of the camera when I'm acting. And I'm getting those opportunities and I've waited for those opportunities. And you know it because we go back a long way. So, I want to respect the challenges and opportunities that are coming my way. But overexposure, I don't know, I really don't know. I'm still figuring things out.
I say that because some of your films have done fantastically well online and now you've got real stats to prove it. Earlier, if you had the money to prove it, as to how your films are done. So when you see the stats, you see the mind-boggling numbers, it runs into hundreds of millions of people watching. You can't fake everything all the time, can you? So then you suddenly feel, oh my God, there's so many people watching. Does that happen?
It feels great, in fact. It sort of acts as a stimulus, in my case at least. When Haseen came out, it was the most watched film that particular year. And that sort of really gave me an impetus to go out there and probably, do better, take up more challenging work and, communicate with the audiences. Because if you actually see, I am not very, very active on social media. People want me to be a little more active and interact with my audiences. But I think I interact with my audiences, and now I think because of the kind of work that they've seen or the kind of track record that I have, they know that I only communicate through my films. So, yes, I come out like, say, 3 or 4 times a year with my films, but I'm also pretty much absent from the public domain because I'm not active on social media. So I think, yeah, it's an unintentional balance kind of
It's
thing.
good. A little bit of mystique is important. Otherwise, we know your shoe size and what color you prefer. It'll be horrible. This is always great. You know, when I see, so obviously there's a given when the two of you are involved, and also Vishal as a director.
Yeah.
So I've known Vishal for some time through, you know, the kind of writing that he used to do.
Yeah.
Horror was there in his head. Dark yet very interesting cinema was there in his head. And that happens with a lot of writers, you know, and your director is one such person. You two are an ideal choice, I think. You know, if you thought of this little, you know, this trikoni, would you have said that, yeah, this is a perfect fit?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, Vishal is, he loves thrillers, and
Yeah.
he loves horror, like so much.
Yeah.
In fact, I had seen his Marathi film,
Yeah.
and then we were supposed to do another film together, which did not pan out. So I was very happy for the opportunity that, you know, we could do this together. And also, like, when I knew he was on board, I instantly said yes. So it was very interesting, and he's good with nuances, in the sense he's good with catching those and sort of telling you that this is good and this is not working when it comes to minute details of performance. And he's just so effortless and so easy to work with. And I mean, you know, it's so good to have such a good actor with you, because it does change your performance. So
I like the word she uses, effortless. And you know, this is not this is like a detailed sort of film, you know.
Yeah.
Forensic, by the thought of it also, you're thinking lots of detailing.
Yeah.
By the cop, by the kid, or, you know, those who've seen the trailer will understand. Obviously, forensic is somebody's died. So you find out how somebody's died, what's happened behind, aage piche.
Yeah.
Is it, when you're reading a script, can it be boring after a point in time when you know that's a murder mystery, or if it's a mystery and you know the whole mystery because you've read it 100 times?
Yeah.
When you're performing, does it get a little monotonous?
There are days when you're prepping,
Yeah.
like you've said it just right. When you're prepping because you've reread the same scene probably 100 times, and there comes a point when you also actually have nothing new to sort of, you know, take out of it or add to it.
Yeah.
But that's where the challenge lies, you know. But by the end of it, you're actually making it for people who haven't seen the film.
First time watchers.
Yeah, you're making it for first time watchers, or probably there are times when you work hard enough to, you know, make sure that that particular film or story has an archival value so that you can revisit it again.
Yeah.
It does, but that's where the challenge lies. You know, you really have to sort of buck yourself up every single day when you're on the set. Though you've read the scene, that particular scene 100 times, you have to go out there. But I think with me, it's become a palette. I can say, because I tend to really prepare.
But do you keep like 2-3 different options? So you surprise your co-actor?
See, you know, it's a director's medium.
Yeah.
You know, acting is a director's medium. So you really have to completely surrender yourself to your director. And in my case, with Forensic at least, I've worked with Vishal before.
Yeah.
Vishal was always our first choice for this film. I did Criminal Justice with him and it did really well. So I have a certain sense of comfort zone with him. We understand each other's styles. And but then coming back to this thing, I do tend to prepare a lot. She's been really kind, and she's calling me effortless, but I actually have to work very hard to get that particular shot or scene right. I'm not as gifted as she is. And I will actually share an anecdote with you. There are multiple, and I've been sharing it for all the interviews. She's so gifted, she's so talented, you know, she might just discuss, as she said, she loves food. She'll discuss food with you,
Yeah.
and the shot is ready. And in 30 seconds, she'll be in front of the camera, crying without glycerine, convincing you, like, and every single person out there. And the moment you call cut, and she's out, and she's like, "Oh yeah, so what was I telling you?" वो मेरे से नहीं हो पाता. मैं इतना effortless नहीं हूँ. She's just being too kind. तो मेरे को बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. But the idea
And you're
is
being too humble about that as well.
yeah, exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
You know-
But on screen, you're so effortless.
Yes.
It doesn't. At no point you deceive like. There's no point of dishonesty. Moment of dishonesty is what I mean.
It's very inspiring when you're watching out there. Also, a lot of people can lose the plot after a point in time. You know, and it's very easy. You lose the plot for money, you lose the plot for stardom, you lose the plot for other reasons. You know, you get pressurized, peer pressure. You don't seem to have that. And you've also never got into that trap. How do you stop yourself? There's a time I knew that, I'd heard that you could have fallen into a trap of doing very high, nonsensical, great commercial cinema.
Yeah.
If that is even a line.
No, yeah.
You know, but it's true, you could have fallen.
I could have very well fallen, because before COVID, a few years back, after Badlapur and all of that, I started getting offers from like big films,
Yes.
big Bollywood films.
Yeah.
And I used to read the scripts. I'm like, I'm not doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I just cannot. I cannot do it.
Can't you balance it out?
I can. Like, I'm doing a Vikram Vedha, right? I'm
Big.
But
Yeah.
I like the film. I like the script. I like the part. I like the sensibility of the directors and the writers.
Yeah.
A lot of commercial cinema, even today, the women, the way they are portrayed,
I
I
agree.
do not agree with it. And I
Yes.
think if we want to stop it, we have to stop it. Like, I have to stop it. Everybody has to say, no, I'm not going to do this. And we don't do it. So,
Is there a shelf life for women? You know, the men never seem to have a shelf life in our industry, unfortunately.
in that kind of cinema, of course there is. In that
So doesn't that scare you that, you know...
I'm not part of that kind of cinema. As in, that kind in the sense, I'm saying the
Yeah.
big ones that we're talking about,
Yeah.
that has a shelf life
Yeah.
because the men clearly still don't have a shelf life and the women clearly have a shelf life, but I don't want to do that. And so I'm not bothered to not be a part of
And
it.
this is great, right? Now when you know that a film can come out not requiring a screen
Yeah.
count,
Oh my
I think
God, I'm
it's
so
been
happy.
a boon.
I'm very happy. They asked me, do you miss theatre? I said that, no, I go to theatre all the time. I watch films in the theatre. I don't miss it.
Yeah.
As long as you watch my film wherever it is, as long as it's not flopping and the producer's happy, I'm happy. Please release it on OTT. Like, you know what I mean?
You know, I've never been able to do this, but now I'm very comfortable with it. I have 2 kids, right? So...
I didn't know that, by the way. Congratulations.
Yes. This is a break for me. But I can't ever watch a film 2.5 hours in a row. But you know, I've started to savor it a lot more. It's so strange.
Really?
Yeah. I'll watch a 30-minute film. I was watching a Matrix the other day, and I watched 30 minutes, and 2 days later, picked up. I don't lose the thread in my head. And I think this is an interesting way of watching cinema. I actually end up like sort of understanding the character, feeling the character a lot more. If I'm sitting in a theater sometimes it goes and you know you're low on energy also, sometimes you can't get through 2 hours, 40 minutes. Do you think that this has actually helped people watch a lot more cinema because they can pause?
I think it's helped for other reasons. As a movie watcher, as a cinema lover myself, I definitely, I would any day choose as an audience a cinema experience. You know, the Dolby Atmos comes in, you know, it's community building. And I think all of us are so, you know, it's ingrained within our system. Even for, I come from a regular middle class family. So महीने में एक बार family के साथ बाहर जाके theatre में film देखना was, we used to look forward to it, you know. What's also worked, which nobody actually, not a lot of people are speaking about it, is कि because of COVID and because of streaming platforms, we've had so many regional films, you know, being recognized.
Yeah, true.
Which was actually absent, you know, it was belt centric or it was, you know, community specific before. But because of COVID, everyone was home. Everyone had that, and we are from TV. We actually started off from television. You know, when I was doing Balika Vadhu, तो एक चीज़ हमें बोली गई थी कि, you know, you really for those 22 minutes, you really need to grab your audiences by the scruff of their neck to hold their attention.
True.
Because एक button दबाया, they have other options.
Yes.
And margin for error बहुत कम हो जाता है. That as an actor really keeps me on my toes, and you know that's the reason those 100 hours of preparation for that one shot. I see it in a very, very positive light. So, but regional cinema, because of digital platforms, I think the kind of recognition and acceptance they've got because of streaming platforms, and we see the results today.
Actually, this is also in a certain way that because Vishal would have done a lot of regional work as a director. You know, and you've done regional cinema as well, which is fantastic. When you do like horror or not horror, in a certain way, thriller, which has a lot of dark bits in it, is it stereotypical in India, or do you think now we're getting out of that stereotype? You're a cop in this, okay, so that's not, in India, for now at least, not stereotypical. But is this like a stereotypical film in that way, with thriller-wise?
I don't think, do we have a stereotypical thriller in the sense that, I know
Set
that
pattern, sometimes.
set pattern, as in there is always the thing of like, a thriller is always like you have so many suspects and then you'll suspect everybody and then it'll be somebody who hopefully you haven't yet suspected, right? Or something like that. Or, you know, or you will, especially the series, you'll just keep watching, suddenly there'll be a flashback in the 8th episode. Oh, this, I did not know about this. Why did I watch 7th episode?
Or they kill a few people off initially.
Exactly,
The character that you think is the problem is dead. Oh,
so that way, thriller is one actually format. The only genre where you have a very clear structure of how you write. That's the only one. Comedy, drama, romance, you can write it in very various ways. There is no fixed. Thriller is the only one. So actually that way I feel, of course it is, it fits into that.
But is it challenging at all sometimes for you? When you've done so many different kinds of roles, both of you, is it tough to like sort of wake up? Like, I remember he'd done a very light-hearted comedy some time back, you know? So I said, is this tougher for you? Because, you know, the other ones, there's a lot of serious stuff. You know, there's lots of things to do.
Yeah.
He said, yes. In your case, would this be...
I think I find both comedy and anything serious, if you have to term it like that, both equally difficult because you just have to be present in the moment, whatever it is. Laughing is very hard on screen, like extremely hard.
And repetitively.
And repetitively. My God, there was a scene in another film that is coming out this year where I had to laugh hysterically for like how many takes? I can't tell you how I'd rather cry. Like, you know, because at least you can put glycerin and cry from the 5th take. Laughing for 10-15 takes is very hard. Like I remember, this is just off the thing. Once on stage I had to laugh and I got so nervous that I realized I'm not going to be able to laugh. So I just didn't laugh. And me and my co-actor had to laugh together and he was laughing alone. I was just like this. It was horrible. It was horrible. But anyway, point being that it's difficult. I think the easiest role I have done so far in my life was Andhadhun.
Really?
I had to smile, I had to cross the street, I had to be like, so I was like, yeah, it's very easy. I
Most
Shiva.
critically acclaimed film of her career. So as to say, 5 stars everywhere.
I loved the film, but my part was the easiest. Easiest. Take his hand, cross the street. Then take it.
It's the days after that when you started getting those commercial films. Now that's what happened.
I love Andhadhun. I mean, I've cursed Sriram so much. I was like, you just cast me in as like a tiny role when I'm going to cast me in.
Listen, when you've got like lots of अच्छी library बन जाती है मेरे these many films, are you now starting to look back and say this I liked a little bit more? You've done it with the big stars, you've done it with the big directors, you've got the awards. And are you now sometimes sitting back and also enjoying? But would this be one of those films that you put up and say, I think I've really enjoyed my performance in this?
Yeah.
Reach that stage?
Yeah, I think so. You look back at things. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way things are. And of course, there are certain favorites. Everyone has favorites. Yeah. There are certain experiences which you really cherish. There are some which don't pan out to be the way you probably think they would. But I think that's how it is. You know, I think the ball is constantly in motion. It keeps moving forward. In my case, I don't even think I've started doing the kind of work I want to do. I'm still a few more.
Still?
Yeah, of course. Very, very pragmatically. You know, I'm still a couple of years away from at least starting to do the kind of things I really, really want to do as an actor. So the idea is to just go out there, be consistent, and I've always said this thing.
It's working well, man. They've got a great library. Before I leave, are the two of you always the perception from the outside is extremely into their work actors? Is that the same way on the set always? Even on a set like this, which unfortunately will be a lot of nights.
Yeah.
There weren't many nights actually.
Not
surprisingly.
many nights in this film.
But very into your work. It's like even Vishal himself, I think, will be a very obsessive director.
He's someone who's really obsessed with his work, so and he's also
no breaks off character from the set.
I'm only on a break. It's true.
I think she'll be quite a riot to hang out.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Riot,
You just switch off these cameras and sit together.
Yeah, full on.
No. I mean, I'm normally like doing other things.
Yeah.
But that's just my way of coping with my work, actually. I like distraction. Like, I like the fact that there are so many people and it's so uncomfortable. Like, you know what I mean?
What she means is the people that are looking at us.
I mean, in the beginning, it used to be like, oh, I have to do this. Now you're holding this here and you're here looking at me and I have to do it. And I mean, it's intrusive in every possible way. Yeah. But I had one of the films, the initial films I had done, I had a scene where, I can say this, right?
Of course you can.
There's this guy who's fixing something over there and I am going and making him tea and I'm giving him something and I start with a fight and fight is in a little bit of this thing and I go back forward, like I just do like 3 rounds and by the time I reach there, the 3rd round, I've fallen in love with him, right? So the conversation that I'm doing something and in the journey 3 times, I've basically fallen in love with
I
it.
think I've seen this as a short film, right?
No, it's a feature.
Okay.
And I love that scene. I really love that scene. And it was a one shot.
Yeah.
So the camera was with me.
Yeah.
And I was doing, I cannot tell you. And I really had to be like, who's this?
Yeah.
And then by the end of, I was like, oh my God, this is like happened, you know? And the only companion, the camera was my companion. And it felt like a confidant who knew exactly what I'm feeling. And I fell in love with the company of the camera. And so the camera in film doesn't intimidate me since then. And I really, I love it. But if you take a picture of me, otherwise, I'll be like really awkward. But I love film camera. And so I'm very
great insight into
comfortable.
our process, man. I love it.
Yeah, so I like distraction. I like to and Saurabh Shukla had said this once. I don't even know where, when, or I dreamt of it. But he said he had come from a very hectic commute to the shoot. And he said that, you know what, I'm going to use every bit of it in the funny scene that I'm doing now. And I remember that clearly. Everything that happens in every day, every ridiculous conversation I have, whoever pisses me off or whoever is kind to me, I try and use it there and there. And the freshness of it is what I think works for me. So that's why I don't rehearse so much. Having said that, for some parts I've rehearsed a lot. So it's...
Well, this is a great insight into an acting workshop by the two of them. You know, it's very, very difficult to sometimes just switch on and switch off. And the both of them are very studied actors also, as you know. But there's a different process for each of them. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I hope I see more of you.
This year you will.
Achha, only this year?
I mean, अभी तो इस year का बात करते हैं. अगले ये साल क्या होगा किसको पता है?
He's here to stay. Thanks all, Vikrant.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys soon. Take care. And of course, it's always going to be available on television and online all across the world, as it always is on V4U. Take care and bye-bye.